Okay, fire in the hole. Broadhead number 1. Broadhead number 2 from the Beast TI. All right, so we're coming up on our Beast TI group here, and I'm gonna tell you, like, out of the gate, super impressive where we landed. All 3 broadheads are here to the left. We have our field tip to the right. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna look at overall group size for the broadhead arrows, and then we'll look at deviation from aiming point, which we're gonna call our field tip our aiming point. So let's see, overall group size, widest point, we're just gonna go to those 2 widest arrows. 1.36 to the outside, 1.36, so an inch, 1.36 inches at 40 yards. I would say that's a win. Now let's go middle point of that group to the outside of our field tip arrow, 1.93 inches. So 1.93 inches. We'll see how the rest of the class ranks out, but I'm gonna tell you right now, that's a pretty impressive group to me at 40 yards, just seeing what we've got. And the deviation from our field tip, it's all feasible. I would adjust that probably, you know, on my Spot Hog sight, 3-4 clicks left, and I'd be in a pretty good spot as far as broadheads go. We're shooting the Hypo 2 from Rage. This broadhead has done very well in the tests that we've been running so far. So field tip, fire in the hole. I heard slappage. Let's go check out our results here. All right, guys, Hypo 2 from Rage. Now, we're gonna see a bigger deviation here. I'm gonna say that may be the one thing that we might add a little human error or redneck error to and things. We're still gonna measure that just to see how things go, but I want you to look at this group right here, just already and what we've seen out of the 2. Smaller, much smaller group, 1.05, 1.05. So 1 and 5 thou is the measurement. And then if we go from point of aim, we're getting about a 4.73 deviation on these. So give or take, but we should see that should actually be pretty consistent across the whole field. I'm impressed with how tight this group is right here. Ooh, I heard slappage again. Here we go, let's go check what we got. Let's go on ahead here and measure our overall deviation from measuring point, group size, 3.23 with the flyer. I'm gonna guess that something probably happened here just a little bit when we got a flyer. Let's check our overall deviation from aiming point. 1.4 in that direction, 2.2. There we go. That is the Tripan no collar. Okay, so we're getting ready to shoot the Tripan Plus P right now. We're gonna send our aiming point field tip downrange. What we have, I don't know if you can see it, but we have an upward angle out of the shaft, which means there was contact back here. I'm gonna go on ahead and I'm gonna measure for the sake of science. Thank you, that's a good word right there. I'm gonna guess where I can see the little indentation here that we're probably gonna be somewhere in the neighborhood of, so 0.7, so 0.7. So I'm gonna measure from that mark, group-wise, we're at about 2.4 on the overall group for broadhead. And then I'm gonna do the same thing for deviation from field tip or aiming point, 3.15. All right, broadhead number 5 in the 2-blade category. This is the Rage Hypo no collar. All right, so this is the Hypo no collar that we've thrown down range. Pretty good group here. I am noticing a flyer again, so I'm glad we have got our fletchings numbered now. That is fletching number 1. We're gonna remember that one. But overall, group size for the broadheads at 40 yards when it comes to the no collar, 2.7 is where we're at. And then deviation from aiming point, 1.98 is our deviation from aiming point. All right, here we go. Field tip for the speed. So field tip right here, where it hit, everything else is kind of surrounding it. So overall deviation of, we are at 4.73. Our biggest point from center, 2.71. 2.71 on our largest deviation from holding point, or field tip. Okay, we've got the T2, our final 2-blade that we're about to shoot. I'm gonna send the field tip down range. A little more indicative of what we saw out of the first 2 groups, being the Beast and the Hypo 2. I like this group here. This is the kind of group we're looking to see. Let's see, T2, 1.489, 1.489 for the group. Now let's look at deviation from field tip or aiming point. We're at about 3.7. And again, like I was talking about earlier, when you get this big of a deviation from field point, it may just be that that bow's not tuned to that shaft, or you know, you can always broadhead tune. I don't do that as much anymore, but I like to see this. This is what gives me confidence on a broadhead. When I see a group like that, I can adjust to that and make sure that I'm ready to roll. So good group by the T2. Okay, here we go with our first 3-blade broadhead in the test. That is going to be the Tyrant. Looking forward to seeing how this one flies. I'm going to send a field tip downrange first just to get our aiming point. Here we go. This group actually for 3-blade is going to be pretty good, I think. 2.9 on group variance. And then longest distance from the aiming point, okay. 1.79. 1.79 is our furthest group. Overall, man, real solid group. Again, we've been talking a lot about like that heart size at 40 yards. Man, that is half a heart right there, again. So impressive out of the 3-blade group. Let's move on. All right, we are about to shoot the G5 Mega Meat here. Group overall though, 2.72. And then farthest distance from the aiming point, 2.88, 2.88. But, you know, 40 yards, we're within a racquetball for anybody that knows what that still is. Not horrible. That's all gonna be within a heart, half of the heart on a whitetail deer for sure. So that's the Mega Meat. We have got the Grim Reaper Whitetail Special. First arrow, headed downrange. All right, so we're still seeing out of these 3 blades, a little bigger group. So this is field tip here. So again, staying consistently to that right side, 3.48 for group size for broadheads. And then furthest point from aiming point, 2.86. Yep, that's less, and this is gonna be less too. So 2.86 furthest point from field tip or holding point, 2.86. So that wraps the accuracy test. Another great test here on the top 10 broadheads in the industry.